Hi, so welcome to episode 20 of my Indie or Outie series. And as with the last 10th episode, I'm going to make episode 20 an indie spotlight. One where I look at a particular indie game which I thought was really interesting and cool. But I was trying to weigh up between two indie games which are very similar for kind of the same reasons. And I just thought I'll just do both in one. But yeah, I'm looking at here is a normal lost phone which can be gotten in a pack called Lost Phone Stories, and it is a game where you effectively find a mobile phone and you have to try to find out who its owner was or kind of what happened to them, and the interface is given to you exactly as a mobile phone. And it's quite a strange and, I would say, unique game. But the other game I'm going to talk about, which is Bury Me My Love, is sort of similar in ways. But yeah, the idea behind it's kind of simple enough. It has a normal phone interface. If you play this on the Switch in touchscreen mode as well, it works exactly like a mobile phone. But the idea is that you have various things that you can go into and take a look through and see, like their gallery. And there is portions of the phone which are kind of locked off. Now, I'm not going to play too much of this to show it, but I'll just explain the kind of gameplay loop of it, and gonna show the first answer to a puzzle. But say like you have your email, but you don't have an internet connection. So if you were to go to settings, you have your networks, and one of them is in range but requires a password. But so you'd have to look through portions of the phone to try to find out um where the password might be. And say as you go down through, you have text messages in chains back and forth from loads of different family members, and say you would look down through them, and it's kind of odd, but you in various different places you'll get hints to the problems and solutions. So here you can see the fact that from Uncle Raymond, it says dumb Tio doesn't know the Wi-Fi password and we need the internet, and says I sent it to him. So then you have to find out where Tio's chat is and try to see, it's like, when did you send the Wi-Fi password to Tio? Here's Tio. Wait, I've clicked into the wrong one. Ah, there we go. Yeah. So you can look back through his chat and see at which point you may have mentioned a Wi Fi password. Stuck in traffic. What's the password for the public Wi Fi? Haven't tried it yet in this new phone, but I guess it hasn't changed. It's the zip code. So you need to find the zip code of the region you're at. And yeah, you could try and look through other applications where you might find such a zip code, and that's kind of the gameplay loop of it. And as you unlock features within the phone, you start to get other parts and piece of information. So once you get access to your emails, you can find out information possibly about the other apps, and the browser lets you use some basic websites and stuff. But it's just really interesting. It's kind of like an odd puzzle game that plays out in the form of a mobile phone. And yeah, I hadn't seen anything like it, but I just really enjoyed playing through the story as you unlock and you find out what some of the messages means. There's quite a lot of double meanings to this game, but yeah, that's a normal lost phone. And I'm gonna pause this for a second while I flip over to the other one. Now, and the second portion of this, sorry for that jump cut, but is, yeah, Bury Me My Love, which is a very strange game, also involving mobile phones, but where you play as a character called Madge, and you communicate with your wife in the game through mobile phone conversations. This is actually the first message that you get after they tell you. There's a small little introduction clip where they just tell you that they basically had enough and they are leaving Syria and going to try and travel into Europe at a time when it's obviously not the easiest, and yeah, there's quite a lot of border patrols and stopping them. So you get conversations back and forth with the character, and they're all played out in a certain time in the game. I'll just go through the very first couple of bits and pieces so I can say, like, the loop back and forth. I'm also going to turn this down because the beeping of that is quite loud. But yeah, you get these options at points where it's a case of like her cab hasn't arrived yet, and you can kind of go with the trouble already, or just to say you're early. And the idea is to pretty much try and keep the person calm and relaxed whilst they make their way through very, very stressful conversations. Of course, you're their husband, so you can't resist telling them "I told you so" at times. But it's a very unusual game because, like, the character that you're communicating with has a certain amount of resources in terms of money and power in the phone, and there is times where they will come to a choice where, like, somebody is offering me safe travel through this, but they're charging me this, and you have to kind of guide your partner's character and advise them whether to trust certain people or whether to spend the money or try and save the money and try and work out other ways. And there's also portions of the game where, like, you can advise the character to go into certain places where they won't have mobile phone signal or where they won't be able to charge their phone. And there can be quite a long time where you're awaiting on the next text message to come. And yeah, there's loads of different paths that you can kind of try to guide them through. But yeah, here's your information at the start is you get how much money the character has, and then you kind of will burn through that as they travel across. But yeah, again, I'm not going to go too far into this because it is more akin to a book or a story with just multiple options, but it is quite a fantastic story. It's really, really well told. Especially, like I said, those portions where the other character's like, I have to go, I'm in trouble, I put down the phone, and you have a time of where you do not get messages and the game plays you through just how long that takes before you might hear from them, depending on the path that's taken through it. But yeah, that's called Bury Me, My Love, where you hopefully don't do that. But yeah, where you try and guide the person, and you have location services as well, where you can actually see their phone and guide them all the way kind of across from Syria through lots of different checkpoints and story beats to try and get them safely through, yeah, to into Europe. Which, yeah, it's just a very, I thought, unique game. But I just said I'd cover two really, really cool and interesting games which involve having a mobile phone and using it to either communicate or try to solve puzzles. So that was a look at a normal lost phone, which can be found in a pack of games also called Lost Phone Collections, I believe is the name of it. But they're both quite small. And this one, which is Bury Me, My Love. So, yeah, hopefully you might find those interesting, and if anyone has picked them up or played through them, let us know in the comments. And if you like these videos, please hit like or maybe even throw a subscribe this way. It always kind of helps to know what people enjoy. Alright, I'll leave it at that though, but yeah, those were two indie games that I thought I might want to put in the spotlight. Alright, we'll chat to you next time.